And welcome, brand new week, brand new month. This is the Outlaw Apostle Podcast. I'm your host, Troy Neff. I'm the fucking guy, and we're ready to get rolling this morning with everything that's happened over the weekend. Lots to talk about, to share. It's absolutely crazy that in one action, Donald Trump has managed to get Democrats to come to the defense of the Ayatollah Khomeini. Seriously. They went from Venezuela flags, Ukrainian flags, like who's other? You know, these motherfuckers have use every motherfucking flag in their social media, in their profile pics, except for one. Except for the United States flag. Again, people literally celebrating around the world. And we're going to get into that. But good morning to the man, the other fucking guy behind all of the controls this morning, Leo. Leo, how was your weekend, brother?
It was an interesting one, to say the least. Lost a bit of money.
You had some friends over doing a little poker?
No, actually, I got invited over to Brendan actually invited me over to a cash game at Riders and had a little too much fun. But it was a good time though. So other than that, it was really good. It was really good.
Yeah, we went to the Dawn and I went to the casino for a few hours on Saturday.
How did that go?
Well, I had to make up for the $300 she lost. And I came out a few $100s ahead. Not as much as I wanted to. But, yeah, I ended up like $500 ahead, but then I got to subtract her $3. And I had been up just under 1,000, but I was trying to like play some bets there at the end and put my limit at the 500 that I'd walk away with and see what I could do. And that's just how it worked out. That's okay. We had a good time at the ball game. We went to the ballpark Camelback Ranch, which is shared by the Dodgers and the White Sox. And so we saw the Dodgers and the Cubs play.
How did that end up? What was the score?
Cubs finally, I don't remember the final score, but Cubs did win the game pretty handily, and that's good because they got, the team that we saw on opening day, that they got their asses handed to them by the White Sox, which is not something you'd expect because the White Sox have been such a terrible organization overall. But it was fun. I'm not a big fan, now that I've been there a couple times, I'm not a big fan of Camelback Ranch. You know, just the parking and just the long walk from the parking lot to get there, and just the stadium itself. I like Sloan Park better, but with all of these, their food really just does suck. Their food, it leaves a lot to be desired. Where you go to back home in Toledo, a AAA ballpark, you know. Which is what I would compare these ballparks a lot like to, size-wise. It's like a good AAA ballpark. And food was way much better fucking in Toledo than the shit that they're doing here at spring training. But it is fun just meeting all the different people. And also joining us this morning to get in on the talk about what's been going on is Mike. Good morning, Mike. Did you do anything cool this weekend, or?
No. Well, good morning to you as well. But I mean, I guess your idea of cool in terms might be a little bit different with this. I like to trying to teach myself a lot with like 3D design, and so I'm on my computer a lot more than.
Oh, that's okay. Normal, that's nothing wrong with that.
I didn't know if you're like interested in any of that stuff, but yeah, it's Leo knows like the whole thing. I'm just slowly but surely trying to teach myself a new skill.
That's awesome, man. Make yourself valuable.
Yes, sir.
I'm all about that, man. I'm all about that kind of stuff. So let's see. So here's a story for you before we get into all this shit.
Facebook? Oh.
The sign. We're gonna show you a sign that I got.
Yeah.
And this thing showed up Friday Friday afternoon, it showed up. And it was inside of almost like a TV box that you would get at Home Depot. And there were like two of them to make it work to fit in. You know what I'm saying? Because they're the thin boxes, right? To protect this. And this is, I'm telling you, the camera is not going to do this thing justice. It is absolutely a very, very fine wood art piece. And this is, again, this is the kind of art that I understand. I like shit like this. And it's wavy. I don't know if you can kind of see that on the camera a little bit, but in person, this is just a badass wood flag design made by a veteran. And I thought I had the little thing to talk about him a little bit, but I'll give him a shout out another time. Does it say on there? Is it Baddock or something like that? Verdict. Yeah. And I think you can maybe find him on social media. You might be able to do that. But so I get this, it gets delivered, and I look at the postage on there, and I'm like, well, it says to me, and the only person it says it's from is this Burdick. So I thought maybe Dawn bought me something, you know, and I'm questioning her. I'm like, did you? And I didn't believe that she didn't. And she was like, no, I have no idea what that fucking is. And so then I open it up and I see it, and it's like really cool. And there's nothing in there telling me who it's from. So I really had convinced myself that I bought it at like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning when I couldn't sleep and I forgot, and I just something I saw and I just bought. I'd like, what other explanation could there be?
Yeah.
Because no, Dawn was very adamant, like it wasn't from her. So here I'm thinking, you know, I ordered something that like shit, like, because that's totally could happen.
Yeah.
Totally could happen. I shop like that all the time. And then I believe it was on Saturday. It was when we were coming home from the game, or headed back from the game, and got a message if I had received a package. And my good friend Bob Moore had messaged me. And so once he said the package, and then I'm like, the flag? And then we called and we talked because, you know, I felt bad because I would have called him immediately and thanked him for it. But there was no name in there. Like, I guess that guy was supposed to put it in there. I don't know, but.
So it's from Bob, though?
But it's from Bob Moore.
Okay.
It's from our friend Bob Moore.
Okay.
And I told him absolutely, positively, we will find a place for it on the wall behind us because it's really cool shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is really cool.
Like,
and we're about the flag. If you're not about the American flag, okay, you can still tune into the show, but we are going to piss you the fuck off. All right? And you're not my people. You're just not my people. If you don't like the flag, if you can't love your country, hate your government, but if you at least can't love your fucking country, that you actually get to spew hate. That's what this country allows you to do, to actually spew your stupid fucking hate. You couldn't do that any other fucking place like this in the world. No other country has free speech like we do. None. And some, you'd give your life if you did that kind of shit. You'd give your life up. They'd kill your fucking ass.
China arrest you if you say pandas are gay.
Really?
So, yeah, remember that dumb news segment we did? It was just two.
Oh yeah,
it was just two Chinese dudes.
They were mad.
They were gay panda. Like they had.
Yeah,
gay
they were
pandas,
mad that
and
they did that video, right?
The Chinese government arrested them for it.
And you know, I don't know. Maybe they are gay. I have no clue.
It's 2026, right? You never know nowadays.
You never know. Pandas have started coming out of the jungle.
Yeah, they feel more comfortable now. You know, it's much more accepted these days.
Yeah. So much thank you to Bob Moore for this, and you know, just the number of people that just randomly messaged me this past weekend and thanking me for the help I've given them in their health journey, in their journey to get back to being who they really are and having the energy, being men again. And it's a thing. And it's what my goal is to help men become men again and help them with their testosterone, just one man at a time, and just keep stacking them up. And we're doing that and changing lives. And I get to do this is just phenomenal. I am so blessed that I get to do this. So thank you very much, Bob. Appreciate you, brother. All right, let's get to the war, conflict, war, whatever you call it. Look, Trump is allowed to. Let's clear this up right away. Trump is allowed to do what he did, and there's precedent for it. Clinton did it, Obama did it, and Biden did it. They sent out planes. They bombed other places in other countries during their presidency. And I believe I'd have to go back on Obama's. I'm pretty sure Obama's went past 60 days. So, like right before this happened, there's like 8 people that get notified in both parties total. And they got a hold of 7 of the 8 right then to give them a heads up. And then from there, you had, the president has 60 days to actually withdraw troops. That if it goes over 60 days, then it goes to Congress for a vote. That's what they call the War Powers Resolution. But the president did not violate anything in the Constitution by doing what he already has done. And my life experience of being 57 years old, I have a different perspective on Iran than maybe other people do, because pretty much Iran has been a piece of shit fucking country for most of my life, because I was young when they I think it was 78 when they took the hostages and shit. So it's like 10 years old, and we had the Shah of Iran. Up until that point, things were different in that country. And then once they got rid of the Shah of Iran and brought in these mullahs and the ayatollahs, and it's been nothing but the entire time that they have had control of this country, they have been the biggest pain in the ass in the fucking world. These are people that I didn't know this. I just heard this morning. That let's say that they have a female, and she did something wrong, and she's a virgin, and so they're going to kill her. That's going to be her sentence, is death. You know, they rape that girl before they kill him, and you know why they rape them?
I don't know the specific reason.
Religious, so they don't go to their heaven or whatever their shit is.
I kind of figured that's
Yeah, don't, dude. It's the thing. That's the thing, man.
Unfortunately,
it's crazy ass shit.
It's not that I don't believe you. It's just fucking. That's
it
crazy.
is, isn't it though?
And they unfortunately do the same thing with young boys as well. Sean Ryan has actually had quite a few people on there talking about what they've had to kind of turn a blind eye to not start, I guess, a war. Like, in order to appease like Middle Eastern authorities, they would. Like, the U.S. troops were told to stand guard, but don't interfere with anything. And they would hear what was going on, like with these little boys, and they would intervene, and it would be a huge issue. And I believe it was him that had him on a couple of times talking about it, but it's real. Like, these people talk about it. It's the most disgusting thing that they horrible. They cannot.
They have a whole ceremony, like once they turn like 13, 14 for that reason or something like that, right?
Like young girls, yeah. And I actually saw
boys, I'm pretty sure too.
It could be boys as well, but I know for a fact with girls because there was a video of somebody in that country performing one of those things, one of those weddings, I guess we'll call them. And the girl didn't want to. She didn't want to sleep with him. She didn't want to. And he literally, the first thing that he did, He crashed out and went immediately for his assault rifle, his AK, and like 5 dudes immediately grabbed him, took the AK out of his hand, like dragged him away. He was about to kill this girl because she wouldn't have sex with him at 13.
Yeah.
Like that's the type of shit that these people try to defend.
Yeah. So, worst country in the world. Literally. This country is the main sponsor of terror the whole time for all of my adult life and most of my life. This country has believed more than any other country that Israel should not exist. And they don't like other countries would lie about it, where they would say they truly believe that they shouldn't exist, but they lie about it and say, well, okay, it's okay. It'll be okay. Not Iran. They've wanted nothing but to wipe them off of the face of the earth. And it's been a crazy relationship with Iraq and Iran years ago. We supported Iraq in the Iraq-Iran war. Soviets, they backed the Iranians, and they've been close to the Iranians to this day. They didn't show up. They didn't show up this weekend, though, did they?
No,
those motherfuckers didn't show up this weekend.
No, they did not.
And I think they've been recently meeting with China and shit too.
I'm not surprised.
Right? Yeah, those motherfuckers didn't show up.
Well,
not even a little bit.
That's why they try to call this. They're calling this like some people are trying to call it a war. I think a conflict is much more appropriate because in a war, there's got to be like some pushback from the other side. It's really just us.
Well, they are pushing back,
but
they
like
are
in a significant man, like in the doing the damage that we have essentially.
Well, here's the thing. I think if they could, they would.
Yeah,
I think that the problem, it's not that they're not pushing back because they are choosing not to, that the initial strikes here are just so fucking devastating to them.
Absolutely.
And I don't ever recall this happening in any other conflict. What the United States and Israel have been able to do over the last year or in Trump's second term here is nothing short of phenomenal with our military and our intelligence and the assets and using them, because to not just take out, they took a bunch of motherfuckers out. Remember, middle of summer last year, they took a bunch out.
Yep.
And of course, other people get promoted, people get replaced. But this and to find out the coordination. Somebody on the inside, this is for sure, somebody on the inside, or maybe several people on the inside of that Iranian leadership ratted them out.
Oh, yeah.
And
absolutely.
where they were going to be and this stuff has, I think, been worked on since and planned since the first strike. All coordinated. And I believe Venezuela, the action there had dual significance, not just for the resources and things that were important, but those resources, how important are those, is the Venezuelan oil now and in helping that country? And now that, this oil is going to be put a stop to for a short period of time. And you're looking at about a spike probably of about $7 a barrel right now here this morning as the market's 7. But still, it's still low as shit, dude. It's from like 65 to 72. And what's going to make the difference is the Strait of Hormuz and the ability and how quickly that can get opened again. And the market's going to overreact. I'll say that. The market's going to overreact. And you're going to see, 30-cent jump at the gas pump. Because when you buy gas, you're not buying gas based on the price that the station paid for the gasoline that's currently in the tank.
Hell no.
you let me explain this to people. you're paying the amount that it will take to replace the gas that is coming out of the ground in the tanks and being used, and you go and purchase. And so it's about the future. It's not about what was done. Well, they bought it at this amount and they have this much profit margin. They sell it for this amount. It's based on the future rate that it's going to cost to replace that gasoline. And we're going to get a short-term spike for that. But look, my entire adult life, every single president, every one. And the first president that I actually remember myself, I learned about Nixon at a pretty young age, and in junior high and high school. But when he was president, I was so young that I really wasn't aware of his presidency. I remember being in the 4th grade, and I don't know why they did this. We took a vote. Yeah, we had a little election, and I voted for Ford. And I remember saying something to my parents. I think my parents voted for Carter. I mean, I think they did.
Old Jimbo Carter?
Yeah. Because he was a nice guy.
Yeah, actually.
He used to carry his own suitcase, man. Like, literally.
I'm pretty sure I'm from...
It was probably empty. It was just for looks, but...
I'm from in Georgia. I'm from a town called Cartersville, and if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure that's named after him, after Jimmy Carter.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's where Trevor Lawrence is from as well.
Oh, so, that's interesting.
Yeah,
I didn't know he had a town named after him. All I remember is that he had, like, a crazy brother that was a brother very similar to the equivalent today would have been probably Hunter Biden, but Hunter way worse.
Yeah.
It was kind of a... Jimmy Carter's brother was kind of a fuck up. I don't know. The only thing I remember that the dude did was he came out with a beer, and it was called Billy Beer. And I used to collect beer cans when I was a kid, and different ones from around the world and different things. And that was a cool thing to have, is if you got a hold of some Billy Beer cans. Yeah. And I don't think it was all that good. I think my dad tried it. I'd have to ask him. But I know we had some of those. But yeah, that was the first presidency that I was really had some awareness of as a young person. All I knew, the first political thing that I really became aware of, because you got to remember, that's back when we had 3 networks and we had, the NPR, that's radio, the other one.
PBS?
No, the public television, PBS.
Yeah,
say
public
PBS?
broadcast.
Yeah, we had PBS, you know what I mean? Which was janky TV. Let's just call it what it was. It was janky.
The best Saturday mornings ever, though, I'll tell you what.
You learn a lot.
I don't know.
Definitely learned a lot.
I mean, I like Sesame Street, don't get me wrong.
No, I remember definitely growing up on the PBS Kids thing for sure.
And there was a thing, I don't know if it was local or how big it was. There was Patches and Pockets. That was a show, Patches and Pockets. That was the character's name. They were kind of like clowns.
Wait, were they was it kind of like scary looking though? Like you would look, it's like kids show, but it was like when you watch it now, it's actually pretty terrifying. Like the way they look.
You would think that, yeah.
Yeah. I know exactly.
Can
what
you
the
put
fuck
up
this
pictures?
was.
Show everybody.
This was fucking terrifying to watch, but yet I watched it as a kid.
Did you watch this?
Yes,
that was still
I know
on?
exactly what this is. They would do reruns later on at night. Don't ask me why the fuck I was watching this late.
Yeah, you're not watching this late at night.
And this is we don't even know this. It'd probably be interesting, right? That Pockets there is probably trans.
More than
He's a
likely.
cross-dresser at the very minimum, right?
Yeah,
But usually the cross-dressers are men being women. But this is the first one. That was a chick. That wasn't a dude. I'm pretty positive. You can ask it. We're see, it was from Toledo.
That's fucking crazy.
Isn't that crazy? Because my parents never took me to the show.
18 years it was on. Holy shit. Yeah.
Yeah. See?
I can't read from here. So,
Beverly Schwind, she played Patches, the girl ragdoll. Marlene Sue Donner, she played Pockets, the boy ragdoll. Yep. Yeah. That's what I remember. Besides, Sesame Street. That's pretty much what I...
There's so many fucking shows like this that when I look back now that I used to watch back in the day, they're terrifying. Like, that's like almost grotesque in a way. Like the way that the characters are designed and like the sets and everything, it's very like just creepy and ominous, but it was
uncanny almost in a way.
But it was meant to be a kid's show.
I'm just curious. I'm going to go out on a limb here. Was there ever any controversy surrounding Patches and Pockets?
Probably.
Yeah.
It looks like there should be, right?
I'm pretty sure if there's controversy
Can you ask?
surrounding
Yeah,
Mr. Rogers,
is there ever anything controversial with Patches and Pockets? Yeah, it might be able to figure it out what you meant.
There were no major scandals or controversies. Wow. Because there was no social media. One of them would
both women were homemakers from Catawba Island.
The fuck is that?
Catawba Island is not an island. Catawba Island's a very nice area where like big boating.
Oh, okay.
Lake boating and money. There was money in Catawba Island too.
Is it nearby Toledo?
Yeah, well, it was near Port Clinton, Ohio.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know exactly where that's
you know where I'm talking about, and Sandusky, kind of situated in between there. I sense. Actually, when I had a boat, moved the boat out to Catawba Island because then it was easier to get to Put-in-Bay in the island. It was a straight shot, and you could come straight home at night in 15, 20 minutes instead of being 40 minutes on your boat and, bad shit happening or whatever. So, yeah, it was a longer drive for us, 45, 50 minutes to get there, but it was worth it, just for, because we fished occasionally. We had the boat more for pleasure than fishing. Yeah. But huge fishing area. I mean, that's what a majority of people had their boats for.
Yeah, absolutely.
Was the fishing, or both, for that to be sure. But Patches and Pockets, that's so funny.
That brought back so many
And I thought it was a Toledo thing. So I don't know how far it went beyond, because you were in the Cleveland area.
At this time, I was in Georgia.
You saw it in Georgia.
Yeah, I swear to God.
Wow.
Yeah.
How crazy is that, too? I wasn't sure what the reach was.
The funny thing is, I recognize the dolls, like the actual woven dolls, more than I recognize the actual actors
characters
themselves. Mm-hmm.
It's not like because Polly Pocket and this are not the same thing, right? Because
I don't think so.
Okay, because doesn't the Polly Pocket doll or whatever look like that and it's pretty famous? Oh no, I'm thinking of something completely different. Never mind, I'm way off. Well, never mind. Sorry about that.
So we just went off on a journey just because I said that there was the media was very, very controlled, very, very controlled back then.
That does.
That's
look like
Raggedy Ann.
Raggedy Ann. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
of.
because this is like where I
like
recognize
every girl had one of those.
This is the Annabelle doll, the very notorious, spooky,
Haunted
gonna kill
one.
you. Have you seen the Annabelle movies?
Mm-mm.
Really?
They're part of the Conjuring
I don't think so.
universe. I actually haven't
They're
seen
actually really
Annabelle.
good. In my opinion, they're actually pretty good movies.
I've seen like a lot of the Conjuring movies, but I haven't seen Annabelle. The whole concept of a doll like being what's gonna kill me. I don't know. It's just hard for me.
It's too close to be like.
Well, it's just like if a doll's like, does a doll actually like move, or is it just a spirit?
It's just a spirit that.
I was like, if the doll's coming at me, I'm wrecking that thing.
No,
I'm not scared.
Yeah, it's just what do they call them? They like carry over like.
Like, what do you mean?
I don't know what they call the items or the what holds like
Oh,
the demons
yeah.
themselves. I forget what the
Yeah.
word is for it, but it's
I
just
don't know
an
either, but-
item that holds a demon with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't know, like, you remember the big case that Ed and Lorraine Warren were involved in back in like the 70s? Yeah, it was probably like the 80s. They made a movie. It's called The Conjuring. The Devil Made Me Do It. But it was like the whole murder case where the guy, I think he killed either his like mom or his stepmom or something like that. But he was claiming that the devil possessed him. And I guess at the time, this was like the first time a major case like this was they're actually exploring the idea of this dude being like possessed by the devil or
It
some
was like
sort
the
of like
first
demonic
case that they were able to
spirit.
take to court and be like, this is like a
With, like,
demonic,
yeah, like,
demonic thing.
with enough
Okay.
evidence to hear him out. But I'm surprised you don't.
Yeah.
You didn't
I'm
hear about
really
this?
surprised you
Yeah.
don't know about this.
I probably knew something, but it just,
just, like,
wasn't
didn't carry it
that.
forward.
Yeah, like when you're this old, you only have so much space to be able to pull that shit out of, and you
Yeah, I
know,
have to do a recycle
remember.
bin every once in a while.
Yeah,
I
it's
did it
kind of like
today.
that, you know. Yeah, for sure, for sure. So everything was controlled, media-wise, and like really from Carter on, and again, I'm not sure about Nixon, but I am sure about Carter, that every president from Carter until now has always spoken about bringing peace to the Middle East.
Mhm.
I mean, it's been a thing, and it's been the hardest thing, and even little minor progress was celebrated. I would say in Trump's first term, that was probably the most that had really, honestly, really been done when the Abraham Accords were signed. And I think about this. Trump just started this, Board of Peace, or is that what it's called? Or
So it's something like that. I can't remember the exact name of it, but I know what you're talking about.
I think within the next year to 2 years that you're going to see that the new Iran is going to join the Board of Peace.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
That's my. Is that what it is? The Board of Peace? Yeah, that was right.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
thought it was a little bit something different, but yeah, just the Board of Peace.
And how about this? You know, they talk about coalitions. You know,
Mhm.
back in the Gulf War and things like that, and bringing people together. They didn't bring a coalition like this. And I have the list here because it's an important list. And I don't know how much, people are really looking into this. I think a lot of people are just basing how they feel about what's going on based on how they feel about Trump. Which is like I said, when Obama killed Osama bin Laden, I didn't complain about how he did it. I didn't say, well, I'm glad that he's killed him and that he's dead and the world's better off, but I don't like how he did it. He should have went through and done this and this. No, man. That isn't it. There's no maybe but. Sometimes the other team, I mean, ultimately we should all feel like we're all Americans, right? But there are definitely teams now. But I can give credit to the other team. And I am just out of my mind. I cannot believe with the feelings that I had, and I'll say the impression I had, just what I thought about John Fetterman. And on probably most things, I still don't agree with him. But I thought, with his sickness and everything, I thought it was absolutely absurd for him to get elected. But here today, several years later, to have this guy be the guy that is almost like the only one left of what we would call old school Democrats, who can be on the right side of things despite his party, because now it's all, well, whatever that party's for, I'm against. That's 100% what it is now. And he's able to say, you know what? I'm not for shutting the government down. You know what? I'm for supporting Israel. You know what? I'm for supporting Trump and what he did in Venezuela and taking that leader out. And remember, how about this? Think about how many lives have actually been saved. You know, it used to be the presidents, the prime ministers, the kings. They sent people to war, but they never had to pay anything for the sacrifice themselves.
No.
And now, by going after the leadership first and taking them out, how many lives of the men and women, I don't know that much about the Venezuelan military, okay, but how many of their lives were saved because of how they carried out that mission?
Yeah.
Lots.
Yeah.
Because it normally wouldn't have been done that way. We'd have been unloading men in boats from boats.
I mean, yeah.
Right? That's what you do. Or dropping them off planes. You'd be like, you'd take over a airport. You'd be bringing people in.
Yep.
You'd be, you know.
I was like, where are we dropping, boys?
Yeah, that's how it was, man.
Well,
that's how it was.
It's always been the young man fighting the old man's war. That's how it's always been.
But I'm just saying, think of it. It's really different now that to go after leaders like this and to do it with such precision.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, God bless everyone that is serving right now. And, you know, what
Can I ask you something?
Yeah, go ahead.
So there's been a lot of talk about, obviously, World War III kind of we're creeping closer and closer to World War III with the whole Iran thing, and that apparently that the U.S. was blackmailed in some way, shape, or form, that either Iran or Israel had nuclear weapons, and said that if the U.S. doesn't do anything about it, that they're going to use nuclear weapons as a response. I'll look it up.
Okay. I believe that Israel has nuclear weapons. I don't know if publicly that's a thing or not. I think it's the opposite, that I don't think they've actually shared that. And I don't know if they're on the list of countries that have and I don't believe that Israel blackmailed us. We've had problems with this country for a long, long time. And remember, we took action over the past summer, and you know, people were shitting on it, and that, you know, maybe it wasn't as successful as it turned out to be. You don't know right away. That things were buried. You got to let people go in there for a few months and let people from the CIA and other people to see what's left, what can they do. And I think it was successful, but not as successful as we had hoped with the bunker busters.
Yeah.
But I would say it was a successful mission.
Absolutely.
What they did.
It definitely was a successful mission.
And I think it was decided then that if it wasn't, it was strategic, it was short, it was quick, it was 12 days. And if it turns out that not enough damage was done, that we'd go back in.
Yeah.
That what I think that part of the plan is, most of us, especially on the conservative side, we're just over the prolonged war thing, Yeah. So I think they've done this strategically to break up, to be shorter, faster, harder, quicker, just the whole 9 yards. And even though I'm somebody that is changed from being a more of a traditional what they called neocon years ago, and they still exist, to somebody, I'm not a Rand Paul either. I'm not a like that we should never interfere, because think about this. The interference here. Weren't people just protesting for the last 2 years, protesting on college campuses around the country because Israel, after being attacked and losing a couple thousand of their people, and a couple thousand Israelis on a percentage basis is way more impact. I mean, we could run the number of what that
Small-ass
percentage
country.
was, and if what that number would be for us, and how many that would be. It'd be a lot of motherfucking people.
Yeah.
We would be, oh no,
Yeah.
that's not going to happen. And so I never got to the place where I think it was needed to end, that it was going on too long. But I just believe that these terrorists, I believe them, that they want the death of Israel, the destruction of Israel, and the destruction of the West and Western culture.
I mean, they scream it.
Yeah, literally.
Like all the time.
Literally scream it. But you had these Americans who were protesting the deaths that happened with Israel and Palestine, Palestinians. In Iran, the numbers right now, the supposed credible numbers, I haven't seen a liberal media say, no, it wasn't 30,000, it was 3,000. No, the numbers that I've seen that's put out there as credible, that nobody seems to dispute, is in the last couple of months with the unrest in Iran, that Iran, the Ayatollah, his regime, the Iranian Republican Guard, these fuckers, that they killed 30 to 40,000 Iranians, their own people. Where were the protests for that? Where were the protests defending the Iranians that have been killed by this awful fucking most evil group of people? I mean, you want to talk about Hitler or Hitler-esque? That's fucking Hitler, people. That's Hitler.
Somebody in Iran literally said, "This is our Hitler is dead moment." That's a real quote.
It should be. But look, isn't the idea that countries didn't act when and stop Hitler before he did what he did, and that we can't ever let that happen again, that we have to intervene and stop that? How is this not the same thing?
Because recency bias. People don't think that far back. They don't study history, and they don't like appreciate history and how it can prevent things like this from happening again. Yeah, war is not going to be pretty no matter, or bombing somebody is not going to be pretty no matter what. But if it's for the greater good, in terms of something that we all kind of collectively agree on what their intentions are, it is what it is. I think people forget that, peace through strength exists. We all want to be kumbaya.
Oh, Trump is Nobel Peace Prize and peace president. This is fucking peace.
Yes.
This is peace.
This is how you reason with them.
Can you imagine what the possibility might be if no one in the Middle East has to fear Iran anymore? And we're not just talking about the Israelis. We're not just talking about Americans. I'm talking about Saudis.
Like Kuwait and all of them.
Yeah. Qatar.
Yeah.
All of them. Because what Trump did, if you look at it, and I was going to look it up and I didn't, because I do have it. The countries surrounding Iran that normally would, in a conflict, maybe they wouldn't engage themselves, but they would still, at the UN, come in the defense of Iran, and the bad United States should not do this. No. They're like, fuck these motherfuckers.
Oh, yeah.
They're trying, they're shooting missiles into our country. Yes, American bases, but guess what? Their technology ain't all that fucking good.
No.
And these fuckers are not strategic like we are, and they're killing like regular people. Now, I'm not saying and no U.S. bomb or Israeli bomb hasn't killed regular people, but we keep that shit to such a minimum now. It's almost a fault to do that.
They're about 10 steps behind all the time, it seems like.
It's so hard to do. It's hard to win a war when you try to take that part out of the civilians, because that has always been a thing throughout history from the beginning of fucking man.
Yeah. I was telling him like I saw a video. It was like back when everything was going on during the summer with Iran, and it was a video of soldiers at one of those bases overseas in the Middle East, and they were literally watching these missiles like shot at their base, but the United States, their defense systems were able to just strategically just fucking knock them out of the air one after another, and they're just watching them fall out of the air. And they're just chaining and cheering and shit. To me, like, you have to have so much fucking faith in your country to be able to, because if that one of those misses and one gets through, you're not getting inside to get away from that. But that's like you said, like they're always 10 steps behind. Our technology is always ahead. Well, the reason why I brought up the whole like, is this considered a war thing, is because when it comes down to it, we can just fucking steamroll them if we want to. Like if it really comes down to it. We don't, because then we would just look like the bad guy even more than we already are, I guess. But but we could do that easily. We just choose not to.
Right. We choose not to.
But why?
Why don't we steamroll them?
Yeah.
Because
the U.S. is already, it's going to look like the bad guy either way.
Well, it's mitigating damage not only from a physical perspective, but from an image perspective, but also it's about going after the leaders like they have.
Okay, let me throw something else in the discussion here. So, also the same group of people that were pro-Palestine were also pro-Ukraine, right?
Apparently.
Big deal. Somebody might want to mention to these motherfuckers that Zelensky made a statement this weekend supporting the action of the United States.
Yeah. That's not good. It doesn't work for them.
They have tied themselves up in such knots of who they defend and how they defend. Like it, they look dumber every fucking day while calling us dumb.
And then you ask them to explain, and then they just go on some tangent.
So recently, I believe that the war has certainly been difficult for Russia. This has not been they expected it to be a 60-day war, basically,
and
right?
Fucking broke.
Really quick, and they needed they've lost a lot of people, and so apparently one of the things that Iran did have a lot of is some particular drones. That they were well known for, and Russia bought a shit ton of those drones from Iran and recently had been using them against Ukraine.
Nice.
So that's why Ukraine is like, yeah, fuck Iran, take those motherfuckers out because this is what's going on. It's all interconnected for peace. And if you again, can you imagine peace in the Middle East without that fear of this worst regime ever?
You think it's really possible though?
Dude, it's at least possible for the first time.
I said now,
and I'm saying,
never.
Yeah, and if it actually comes to fruition, the advancement the whole world can make. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, there are bad guys like Russia, like China, but they're not the same type of bad guys as these motherfuckers.
No, they're advanced bad guys.
These guys are like when you believe, okay, that literally life means nothing to you. See, life means something to a Russian.
Mm-hmm.
Life means something to somebody that's Chinese. The life means something. They're like us. We'll fight, but we would like to live.
Yeah.
Not these fuckers.
Their end goal is the other side.
Yeah. You know what my end goal is? I'm going to get there, but I don't want to get there today.
Yeah.
That's what my goal is.
In due time.
Okay.
In due time.
Not today. I'm okay down here for a minute. It is a short minute, so I got the rest of eternity to praise God and just sing hallelujah and I'm all good with that.
Now, let me ask you this. What if you had, I think it's 170 virgins they have waiting for them on the other side? Would that change your whole perspective? I'm wanting to not get there so soon? Because that's literally what
You really want to know?
No, because it was more of just a joke question. Because that's
I got a joke. No,
I was like, I mean, yeah,
I'm going to ask you.
Absolutely.
I'm going to ask you. You ever fuck a virgin?
Yes.
How great was it?
I mean, for me, it was great. I don't know about her. I think it was good.
Well, you were probably a virgin too.
Yeah, I say for me, I had a great time.
Right?
So hopefully she did, but
yeah, but I'm just saying, honestly, no offense. How good a head does a virgin give?
in my experience, not very good.
No. Call me weird, okay? I don't mind
He's
a
like,
little experience.
villains,
You know what
but
I
hey,
mean? You know what I'm saying here?
Low-key makes some sense.
So, like, really, do I want 170 women
Waiting for you?
that yeah, they're young and nubile and you get to have sex with them, but the sex ain't going to be that good, man. You know what I mean? Like, why does nobody ever talk about that?
Because
nobody's as sick and twisted as I am. That's why nobody comes.
Well, yeah, I guess we could attribute to that. But also at the same time, they're just thinking about about the end game. They're not thinking about how good it is. They're just thinking about having it. I could understand how something like that could seem way more appealing than the life that you're living now. Like basically in squalor, if we're being real. They live disgusting lives. They're very dirty. I could see how that's way more appealing than what you're doing right then and there.
No, but I'm saying, that belief system
is not.
We don't have to understand it.
No.
All we need to understand about it is that they believe it, and that they would rather die for it than be here today.
They'll take everybody with them.
Yeah, they do not fucking care, and that is we are just not that. You can do some way more evil fucking shit. If that's what you believe, and that is what they believe.
All in the name of their religion.
Yeah.
And conquering. Literally, it's death to infidels. And basically, an infidel is anybody who doesn't
believe or won't convert.
Yeah. And that's literally anybody who's not your fucking people. So you're basically saying death to anybody who's not you, the entire world.
And on these same college campuses, right? Women.
Of all people. Yeah.
And it's like, or the other stupid thing that was really dumb is like the gays for Palestine and shit like that. You know what I mean?
Apart in the streets.
Like, are you people? Are you for women's rights? Are you? You're talking about Jeffrey Epstein and the Epstein files. Still big thing. And no, I do not believe this was done as a distraction to that. Okay, because you could always say everything is a trick, because the Epstein thing's not going away. It's still not going away.
I don't know.
This is not going to push it away. It's not going away.
Too on the radar.
Yeah, it's not done yet. By far. There's people that need to go and people that need to fall. And I think the first one that's going to take the hit and be forced to resign is going to be Howard Lutnick.
You've been mentioning him for a few weeks now.
Yeah. you watch that because, now, because he just lied so badly in saying that, I met him once. I was in his apartment. He seemed creepy. I told my wife he was creepy. And the whole thing was just phony. And then come to find out he had actually been on the island. It's in the Epstein, it's in the documents. Like, you can't come back from that, dude. We want people to be held accountable. And he needs to be held accountable. It doesn't mean he raped or engaged in sex with underage people. I'm not going to call him a pedophile, but he engaged with somebody who was a pedophile and knew better and should have known better at that time. And that's like the sad thing is what he knows and understands from a political point of view and what he's done on a policy side is actually pretty good. But that's now doesn't work. You got to go. And I think Pam Bondi has fumbled this so poorly that she'll be gone in 6 months.
Really?
Eventually she's going to be gone because somebody's got to take the hit.
Yeah.
For not releasing the documents in the way they should have been released.
I think,
and she's got to be the one that's going to do that.
It definitely makes sense because, and I guess hindsight's 2020, but like looking at it now, whoever was going to be in charge of this was kind of like going to be a thankless job because you're going to get it from both sides, from everybody. Like you couldn't win.
Yeah, but okay, but here's the thing. Trump didn't really talk about it that much.
No, not when he got into office.
Other people talked about it, even during the campaign season. He really didn't talk about it much. Other people were talking about it. The Cash Patels were talking about it. The Pam Bondis, they're the ones. They set the expectation themselves.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. See, they set the expectation such, and then when they didn't deliver, if they just would have not talked about it at all, the Epstein files would not be as big a deal to as many people as it is today. And I'm not saying that that would have been the right thing to have happened. I'm just saying that that's what I believe what would have happened if it is. But it is a big deal.
No, they've been
and
the
those are
heroes
the
in
people.
that
But just think about that. Both sides, people on both sides. Now, the one side, I believe, only cares about it, that they don't really care about the women or the young girls, other than to use it to attack the opposition politically. That's the only thing they care about, because they didn't care about the trafficking of children for sex when the borders were open and the cartels were making billions of dollars getting these kids across the border and supplying these pedophile networks and stuff that way, right? So they didn't care about kids. And they don't care about kids now. Think about it, that why don't they, or why didn't they, care about these Iranian little girls and how they were treated? Again, there were no protests for them. None. They didn't care about them. But they care about them over here. See, I care about it, period.
Yeah.
In all areas.
The loudest ones are unfortunately the most illogical ones, and they're the ones that have their opinion heard. I do believe, like you said, not all Democrats are as loony as most of them are, but I do believe that there's some that do care about this. They understand of what the Iranian people want, what their religion is based off of, how they treat their people. Like, they're more logical than most, but it's just the loudest people are always the ones that are on social media, and it's like you said, it's solely being used as a political tool rather than like a humanitarian tool. And that's the issue. It's when it's being used for gain in a country that this doesn't technically even go on in. Like, I'm the same way. Where's your outrage?
So you care about minor children, except in the case when the minor girls are Muslim. Them you don't care about, because it's okay, because religiously, in their religion, it's okay. So you have to just accept that it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, I would like for them to take a trip and like talk to the people there. Like, when you hear the Iranian people talk about what is done to them, I mean, you have literal like soldiers going around in the streets, knocking on doors, like making sure that faces are covered. Like, women are abiding by their rules. And if they're not, they're literally fucking cutting their heads off, pinning them on the door of their home for all the villagers, everybody passing by to see, to make an example of it.
Yeah.
Like, how could you ever defend that in any capacity whatsoever?
And again, we shouldn't do something about that? See, that's where I have
out of the fucking water.
Like, dude, I don't want to interfere everywhere. I really, really don't. But there are some places where it's just so heinous, and this is one.
Yeah.
That how can you not be behind this? How can you not support us doing what we can do to end this? You know what would have been really terrible? Is if those 30 to 40,000 people that were killed during the Iranian protests for the last couple of months, if they had died and we did nothing, just did nothing. I mean, can you imagine because they believe, they were hoping, and especially after they saw what we did in Venezuela, they were begging for the U.S. to come and help them.
Yeah.
And Trump said, hang on. Keep fighting, hang on.
Give us some time to work it out.
Trump would have been a piece of shit if he'd let those people hang.
Absolutely. 100%.
Honestly. But he didn't.
It's always
he didn't.
It's
man.
always damned if you do, damned if you don't.
And with all the criticism that he gets, the balls that it motherfucking takes to do what he just did is huge. I don't give a fuck about anything but doing the right thing.
Because the people that matter in terms of this situation, in this landscape, he has their backing. Like, he wouldn't, if this was a bad idea, like, I have to imagine more people would be like, hey, you know what, let's hold off on this. No, the fact that it happened like the way it did so swiftly, everybody was in on it, coordinating like one after another. This was all on board.
Yeah, but you know who supports it? Canada is supporting it.
Yeah.
Australia is supporting it.
They're a pain in the ass.
You know, others are taking more a middle of the road approach. And then you have France and Spain who could just fuck off. I'm so sick of France and Spain, really.
Beautiful countries.
Like, yeah.
Other than that,
dude, France, I definitely feel that way about. Spain, it's been more recent for me. And they don't really want people visiting there anyways recently, if you check out what's been going on there. So you know problems. What? Fuck them. Seriously. Like, if Spain was, I don't know why anybody would, because they're not important enough to attack. Like, really. Like, what do? Spain.
Spanish flu.
No, they soccer.
Yeah.
Do they contribute anything else in the world but soccer?
Not off the top of my head.
I can't think of anything.
Nothing significant, but
What country are we talking about? Sorry,
Spain.
Bull. They do a traditional the
running
of the bulls.
That's pretty cool.
I do fuck with that. I'd watch it. I wouldn't participate, but I'd watch. I'd record it.
I think there's also a food that's actually really delicious that comes from Spain as well. I'm trying to think off the top of my head, but no.
Spanish rice.
Big win.
That's Mexican.
Big win for Spain.
Yeah. But the point remains, like, when you try to think of the most important thing that they contribute, soccer is the first thing that comes up in our heads.
And it, really, and they didn't want to. They were one of the countries that didn't want to pull their own weight in NATO. So it's like, look, you want us to protect you, and then you're going to condemn us for what we do?
Yeah.
Fuck you. Kick them out of NATO, or at the very least, the United States said, you know what? We're going to amend our agreement with NATO that if you attack any NATO country, we'll be there to defend you, except for Spain. Except for you, motherfuckers.
Except you.
Fuck Spain. Because really.
They're honestly like pieces of shit, to be honest with you, from what I hear. Never been, but from what I hear, people there are fucking awful.
You know who's not awful? This made me think about it this weekend. That, I don't know, I just had different contact with people. Like, I remember, I don't know, I was doing some kind of part-time work. I don't even know how it happened. But I worked with some Persians. Iranians are Persians. And rugs. Like, I worked, like, they would set up these big tents and sell Persian rugs. Like $10,000 rugs, like nice rugs. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff.
They're known for it.
Yeah, dude. But it just made me think about it. I hadn't thought about it in a long while. That my encounter with Persian people over my lifetime has really been positive.
Yeah, it's not.
It's positive.
It's not the
very
people.
positive.
It's
No, I mean, they're
leadership.
like people I really, really like.
Yeah.
I just looking back at those times when, hung together, had friends that were that way, that was their ethnicity. And there's only one, and I used to call him an Iranian terrorist, and it was all about soccer. We just had disagreements about soccer. But he was excellent soccer coach and taught me how to coach and stuff like that. But I had some pretty good kids, and my kids were supposed to be the B team of the club, and we could give them a really good run for their money sometimes, and sometimes we'd win, and crowds would like come and watch when we would play. People that had no association with either team, but they knew the club.
Yeah.
And would come watching little kids play and watch us. And like one time he cheated in an overtime game indoor. Like when he released a player to go on the field and pulling one off, it was overtime, and I think you have 3 on the field like they just did for the hockey like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was livid. And it was like after the game, him and I got into it. Like that's when I started calling him the Iranian terrorist. But I still have nothing but respect for him and his knowledge. And he was still a good human being, even though he was a soccer cheat.
Hey, the man just wanted to win.
Story.
He just wanted to win. That's all.
So did I. Like bad, man. I love that competitive. I miss that so much. That was so much fun. But just really, really good encounters with Persian people. They're just a good group of people.
It's always the leadership that is the issue, really. Like we talk about Iran, but like we're not talking about, the average Joe Iranian. We're not talking about them. We're talking about the extremists.
And can you imagine how cool would it be? I would find it cool that if it was safe as an American to go there.
It would be cool. And it was at one point.
And there's a lot to see there. Yeah. You know what I mean? That would be that would be a cool place to visit if it was safe to go. I mean, it just hasn't been safe for us to go, right? Like you can't go in to Iran as an American.
Not without some backup or some weaponry, that's for sure.
Yeah, undercover maybe, or whatever they do. Actually, the CIA, or I don't know. Maybe there's academics that go. And the stuff that I don't know what the number is of people that go.
Well, there is actually. So there's. Well, no, I was gonna say there is people that are opportunistic. They get super cheap flights at all these countries that have terrorist attacks or something that goes on. So this guy online, he literally. Anytime something like this happens, he's probably in Iran right now. But as soon as it happened, he probably got a ticket. He goes to these countries where they're war torn and they just had a bombing or this or that because it's cheap, and he gets to. That's when it's like the most docile. They're trying to pick everything back up. They're not focused on the one specific American. He's able to just walk the streets and kind of just.
And they just let him in.
Yeah,
he gets through customs.
I get
that's a thing.
Yeah. It's kind of wild.
I don't know.
Approximately 7.4 million tourists.
Foreign tourists. Again,
well, Americans.
That's way different.
Just how many Americans visit
Iran. Like if you're French, if you're a French dick, you can fucking go to Iran. Probably if you're an asshole Spaniard, see that
1,600 data from 2018 showed roughly 1,600. In over 8 months. That's like nothing.
And really, of that 1,600,
how many are
how many of those do you think were Iranian Americans?
True. Yeah. Going back home to visit
family.
Mm-hmm.
And even a lot of them won't go because they would fear not being able to get out of the country, come back to the U.S.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I think one of the biggest images I think people should remember as probably the biggest stain in our country's history when fucking Biden pulled out of Baghdad and all that.
Yeah, you can't just go and hang out.
It's fucking
see that?
awful.
U.S. citizens must travel with a government-approved guide and itinerary.
I don't know how this dude does it. He might have a guide, and they're just like, sure, if you want to fucking put yourself in that.
While international tensions are high, tourists often report receiving a warm welcome from local citizens. Like, you know what country that I would go to today and that I wouldn't, in fact, I want to go while we're not supposed to go because that's the whole part of the whole allure to me is Cuba. Oh. I'd love to go to Cuba, dude.
We can't go to Cuba?
Yes, you got to.
I don't recommend it.
You got to, I would go in a heartbeat. You got to go to another country and then go from that country to Cuba. You cannot go straight here from there, but you can go to it. I just think they treat you from everything I've known and looked. I've searched this for years, decades now. That's something I've always wanted to do is go to Cuba.
Wow, I guess I didn't realize that.
The food, the island, it's so fucking just amazing and beautiful.
That's what you see in public. It's actually super poor and a lot of
sure.
Like I don't think American tourists are very well welcome in Cuba, to my knowledge.
More American tourists are going to Cuba than are going to fucking Iran.
That is probably
no, but pull that up just out of curiosity. No, more people than you think go. Actually, and they want the U.S. dollar.
Yeah.
That's part of it.
Mm-hmm.
They want the money.
Remains lower than the peak of over 600,000 recorded in 2017 to 18. Thousands of U.S. citizens still visit annually under specific authorized categories.
Then Cubans going back.
A lot of those
Dropped
Cubans
by
don't like going
50%.
back. I'll tell you what. Unless they have a lot of money, a lot of Cubans don't usually go back to visit Cuba because it's not a very nice place for them.
Well,
Yeah,
they can thank the Cold War.
but it used to be a pretty decent. It was a decent number. It looks like until COVID, and it's probably working its way back up now.
See what happens when you allow Russian missiles on our front porch.
Yeah. But
Still
yeah,
recovering.
there's not. I don't think there's the same kind of. There's not the same kind of hatred in Cuba for Americans as
Not the
what
same,
you've-
no.
Not the same.
You beg to differ? Well, chime in. Why would you beg to differ? Well, what specifically about Cuba would make Americans not safe being there?
And people go there, like people go there in vacation from like Great Britain and shit. They go. So that's my.
I'm not saying they don't go. I'm just saying that you wouldn't get as warm of a reception as you think.
Or not thinking like
I don't know.
we're gonna get a parade, but like it's just thinking we're able to walk the streets there a lot more freely than Iran.
You get robbed though.
You can get robbed
You can
anywhere.
get robbed anywhere.
You
Yeah.
can get robbed
But
in
it's very,
Greece.
it's
You can
very
get robbed
common,
in Italy.
I should say.
It's very common for tourists anywhere to get robbed. That's why they have like specific trainings that you actually can do, and specific like packs that you can strap on your chest or whatever it is that you want to do.
Yeah.
So
What a great way to tour. Hey, that's a lot of people. That's not just Americans. A lot of people get robbed, unfortunately.
So let's do more on this.
On the Iranian war? Or
Yeah, I mean,
Conflict?
yeah, let's do some more on this.
I would
What,
like to see who the
let's
fuck's
see.
defending the Ayatollah. Put them on the front stage and let them speak their part.
I tell you, I just social media was just a fucking mess, and I don't know how we combat this and that there's anything we can do about it, but so much stuff posted on X this past weekend where it wasn't just AI. There was fake AI shit for sure, but just people posting pictures or bombings or videos of shit that happened 6 months ago, 6 years ago, and claiming this and that, and like, come on, man.
Especially not only that, like in surrounding countries too. They're trying to say that was happening.
Right.
As if we're like we can't aim.
Yeah. Yeah. So when I said, here's the countries that I said, the president united these countries like this.
Mm-hmm.
These are the names of the countries: Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Turkey, UAE, Bahrain, all against Iran. All of them.
Because they're a pain in the ass.
Because they were threatened too. I mean, them having a nuclear weapon was just as bad for them, almost, as it was for Israelis if the Iranians had, got the nuclear weapon like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because they just would use it.
Yeah.
If you kill your own people, you will also kill people who are your supposed allies, right? Because if you kill your own people, you'll kill fucking anyone.
Yeah, it's failed leadership for one, and yeah, if you're willing to kill your own people, you're willing to kill other countries' people as well. It's simple math on that.
It's hard to argue against somebody's lived experience, right? That's the argument that's always used. Well, you don't know, you're not black, you don't know the black experience, the lived experience, and you got to respect that. It's the crazy ass motherfucking white Karens, male and female, that are just insane, over the top, in their support when the people themselves, they're literally telling those people your lived experience doesn't mean shit. We know better than you. And isn't that what liberals think anyways? We know better than you. We know better than you.
Party of logic
We
and
know what
reason.
you need more than what you know you need.
Yeah.
And you don't need the U.S. giving you any kind of freedom or anything like that. How dare that fucking happen, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
One side thing that I do find kind of funny about this, and it's just like it makes me feel like it's just like gang wars on a fucking larger scale.
Yeah.
Just because this dude, I can never pronounce his name right, but the leader of Iran, the dude they just killed, I can't pronounce his name, but
Khomeini,
that's what it is. He was talking so much shit on X. Like posting shit, and it's like that's what happens like in gang rivals. They'll fucking talk shit on social media, and then they get pulled up on and they get fucking popped. And that's like the same. That's literally what happened here.
Well,
talking shit, and they fucking bombed him.
Dude, like
it's deeper than that.
Hey,
but
hey, did you think the shit with Maduro? You thought that was fake or what the fuck, man? Maduro, come and get me.
For real.
Oh, what not just evil American, there was another name that they would use, but just anyways, that just running their mouth about what they would do to the Americans and all the time, and
fuck around and find out.
Not so much.
That's usually
Not
what
so
happens.
much.
Everybody's about that tough talk to us.
His wife is dead now too. I've never heard anybody. Yeah.
Oh.
Khomeini's wife. That's what it says. The headlines right now.
Well, rest in peace, but she's probably in more peace now than she's ever been. Poor gal.
Yeah, here's a story, just like what you were saying. Here's the headline. Iran's Khomeini killed after stunning arrogance, ex-CIA chief says.
Like he was just tough talking for no reason. I don't get that.
Can you believe this number? This is on Fox even. Trump's Iran strike lacks broad public support. Only 27% say they approve.
I don't know why they wouldn't approve of this, but again, like you said, it's just opposition to Trump for the most part. Some people probably are like just anti-war for anything, and they're just like just because it's anything related to war. But the vast majority, it's just because
this
Trump
is
did
so
it.
stupid. Here's more of this. Let me give this. Written by Paul Steinhauser. 1 in 4 Americans back Trump's Iran strikes. Most say he's too quick to use force. Dude, this guy is all about talking and giving you opportunity to talk. And then he gets criticized for, Trump, he's negotiating, he's talking, and that never works with these people. So if he continues to talk with them, they criticize him for talking too much with them because it's never worked. They never live up to whatever agreements they make. Or in this case, and in every case that I've seen so far, what Trump has done is in every single fucking case, he's thrown out a red line. And when that line was crossed, he went to work. He followed his words with real action. And if you take that back, I believe it was, if we looked it up, it would be Obama's red line with Syria. And they crossed that. I think that red line had to do with them also killing their own people.
Yeah.
And using like chemical
castration,
chemical weapons
weaponry,
against their own people.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is
and if they used this chemical against their own people, Obama said, we're going to stop you. And they did, and nothing happened.
Yeah.
In 2012, President Barack Obama declared that the Syrian regime's use or movement of chemical weapons was a red line that would change his calculus for military intervention. Following a massive 2013 sarin gas attack in Ghouta, Obama opted against immediate strikes, instead partnering with Russia to dismantle Syria's chemical weapons stockpile, a decision debated as either a diplomatic success or a failure of credibility. Again, don't make a red line if you're not going to back it up.
Yeah.
And Trump has done that. But if you don't like that, if you don't like Trump, that's one thing. But that's something you have to at least respect, or you should respect, that he is going to follow through with whatever he says he's going to do.
Well, to say he was too quick to action, I'm sorry, has this not been going on for 40, 50 years now?
47.
47, almost, so basically
47 years.
And how is that too quick? Almost fucking half a century.
Well, and the thing was,
It doesn't reset with a new
here's
president.
here's the other criticism you see about this too. Well, Trump was the one in his first term that got rid of the nuclear treaty that they had with Iran. Here's the difference. Trump got rid of it because that nuclear treaty at the end of 10 or whatever number of years allowed them to have nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
And yeah, Trump wanted an agreement if he could get one. The difference being he wanted an agreement, a treaty that meant that they could never have it. You could do anything else you want, just don't do this.
Yeah.
And they would never agree to it.
Yeah, they're not saying you can't have nuclear power. You just can't have highly enriched uranium because it's used for one purpose and one purpose only.
And we didn't have 47 more years.
Yeah.
To drag this out.
Yeah.
Again, the benefits of this, and it's going to be long after Trump's gone, that he'll get the credit when some of the haters die, that he'll get credit for these kinds of things that will later be said, wow, that was actually huge.
Well, this is how you stand up.
This is huge.
This is how you stand up and against shit like that. You don't pull out like Biden did.
And think about it. He's putting it all on the line here too.
Yeah.
Because he could have held off because politically it may not have been the best choice going into midterms. But if it turns out really well, you think they're winning? You think the Democrats are winning the House back in November? If this works out really well, I don't think so.
They shouldn't either way.
I think there's enough people in the area to like kind of even if, because I mean, we see it in the past, even if Trump gets a win, they're still gonna like
the people that have always been in the middle, flip flopping back and forth, that don't want to be with the Democrats because they're fucking crazy, and then maybe they don't like they like Trump's policies, but maybe don't like how the policies have always been carried out, with immigration or whatever. Those people. If he loses those people, then obviously the Republicans are going to lose. But if this works out, he keeps those people.
Yeah.
So I think you're right in your thoughts that it could go either way. But what I do respect is that he's willing to put it all on the line for it, to do the right thing, even if it would cost him that election.
Yeah.
He's going to do what he can do in the time he's given, and why he's worked real fast. I don't like that we've abandoned certain things because of the difficulty that he's faced and the headwinds he's faced, like with Doge. Yeah. How much Doge is still going on?
I don't think it's really a thing anymore now.
I think there's some going on, actually. They're like little groups.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
No, not Dogecoin.
But you know what I mean? But there was such pushback. That it's just not a thing. Yet, what have we been talking about for the last 6 months in Minnesota and other places? What have we been talking? Fraud. Fraud.
But like egregious fraud. Like not even just like a little bit, like horrible fraud by the people who are literally voted into office. Yeah, I thought they dismantled it.
But I think what happened is groups inside each department are carrying on. They have people inside the departments that aren't on the outside coming in and helping, but are on the inside, still focused. Because when I hear the different secretaries of the different departments talk, it at least sounds like they have some focus on, stopping certain things and stopping certain payments that, traditionally would have just flown through, and still working to, get some of that money back, or at least expose it and provide some accountability for people who've done that kind of thing, right?
There's going to be a lot of NGOs that people are going to be aware of.
Yeah. But I was really for what was going on, and I was for Republicans actually getting some fucking balls, which they get scared and they just only care about their election, just like Democrats do. And so, not implementing these things, we are going to continue to be ruled by executive order, whether it's a Republican or Democrat, unless Congress decides to step up and do their job and say, hold on a minute. Let's put this into law. And that's for both sides that need to do that. And the thing is, I don't like it that, when Democrats are in charge, but when they win the election or didn't win the election, however you feel about it, but for all intents and purposes, they had the power. Okay, we could say it was a fraudulent election all we want. Biden was still the fucking president.
Mm-hmm.
He still had control. There at the beginning of his term, they did control both houses at the beginning. And then he, of course, lost control of the houses, which happens most of the time for every single president. So keeping it is very, very hard. Either way, but still, he did do that. And you have to say that whether we may not like it, but their policies are going to win more than we're going to win by opposing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's honestly how it should be. The winner gets to make the rules.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
right. I'm just saying within the frame of the Constitution, of course.
Yeah, absolutely.
And sometimes you don't know. Sometimes I don't think, what Trump is doing against the Constitution. Sometimes we don't really know the answer to that, whether it be Trump or whether it be Obama. We don't know the answer to that until it's challenged and it goes through the system and gets to the Supreme Court, if it gets that far or whatever. It has its due process.
Yeah.
Right? That's what we talk about, due process, and we have that.
We do.
Yeah.
We just don't always use it.
Yeah. But definitely it should be, we won. So you still have the right to moan and bitch, but fuck off. Is the bottom line. We won.
Yep.
Okay? And you know what you need to do? Win an election. You want to stop Trump? You want to stop what's going on? Win an election. Because where you're pushing now, and I just posted this too, you motherfuckers keep going this, because I've again hearing impeach Trump. I promise this. Okay, where do I think the line really is? That you will find people that don't protest like me, because I'm just not going out there and doing that kind of shit. I got too much fun stuff going on in my life and too much other good shit going on to waste a day and doing that bullshit and just yelling at these other people. I'll yell at them on X. Okay, but I tell you what, when I will go out to the street.
What's that?
I will go out in the street if they ever tried to impeach him again. You try to impeach him again, I promise there will be legit civil war. Legit civil war.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by that is I'm talking about, yes, I'm going to say it when nobody else wants to. I'm talking about violence. Real fucking violence. And you do not want us to be violent. That is not what you want. We'll fight you at the ballot box. But you come at us with that kind of shit for a third motherfucking time, okay? We made the choice. We made the decision. And we won. You wanted us to, we bitched and moaned and complained, but, were we out, were Republicans out on the corner protesting Joe Biden?
No.
I don't think so.
Not enough to make an impact anywhere.
Or to even make the news.
Yeah, for anybody to give a shit.
Right? All you got to have is 20 fucking people,
Yeah.
and they'll show up. At least that's all they need from the other side. And it doesn't matter how many they get. That's not how it works. That's not the rules. Nobody's stepping down. Nobody's going away. Okay, but I would say this, and I'll say this in relation to the Epstein files. There's still nothing there on Trump. Nothing. Bill Clinton was just deposed last week.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really hear any Democrats saying what Bill said. And Bill said this. This was leaked. Bill literally said, I don't think Trump had anything to do with it. And I never heard him. There was nothing. I never encountered anything with him or Epstein or any words that lead me to believe that he was in on the trafficking of children with Epstein.
But didn't he also say he wasn't involved in any of that? And there's a
He said
lot of
he's-
evidence.
Okay, but he said that there was a lot of. It's not that there's not any. He said he didn't do anything wrong, and there is no.
He also said he didn't have any knowledge of anything going on as well. Is what he also said. He said
At the least, though, I think at least now we can't. As somebody that if it was there, I would say it, but I don't. There's not evidence that's out there that we've seen or that anybody's seen up to this point that he engaged in sex with a minor. Now, do I believe that Bill engaged in sex with other women? Absolutely, that probably happened. I don't. It does look like it goes in that direction, right?
It does.
And I don't believe any of where you've had survivors talk about Prince Andrew or whatever. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like that kind of stuff. I don't think any of those survivors made any accusations like that about Clinton. They didn't about Trump. And the only accusations made about Trump, all when they had a hotline open after 2020, when you could call up and you could make an accusation about anyone, and that accusation was recorded.
Mm-hmm.
But not a single one of those accusations that were made that were followed up on were backed or shown to be true. That didn't happen. And I'm just saying that, but if there was legit real evidence that he engaged participated in that, I would be the first one in line to lead to get him out of office. No matter about anything else. You still support that pedophile? Where's the pedophile? Where is it? You're just throwing out words, just like you throw around racist, just like you throw around Nazi. That shit doesn't affect us anymore. It just doesn't. You think because Trump was accused by some old hag of feeling her up, that's not evidence of this, and it's not really believable. If she had been, hot and 25, maybe, right?
Then we might have ourselves a case.
Then you might. I mean, but come on.
wasn't there a settlement for that?
Settlements don't always.
That's a civil suit, man.
Yeah.
That's
That's like paying somebody to be like, all right, even if I know you're lying about this, but to get you to shut the fuck up.
No, they didn't know. It was no. That's.
I was about to say,
there
that sounds kind of.
There wasn't a settlement like that.
Well, I'm saying that's what mostly civil suits don't always admit
Right.
criminal guilt.
No, don't get me wrong, but you typically a lot of the times they're going to be leaning more towards the fact that they did do it.
Well, I can tell
in
you,
a settlement.
I was only sued once in my life, being a financial advisor in 24 years. I wish I could say it was zero. But I had someone that was a client, and we had her money invested in solid mutual funds and some blue chip stocks like Disney and things like that, okay, that paid nice dividend and things like that at the time. And I was accused of putting her in high-risk investments when the problem that you could clearly see in the statements is she was taking out too much money. And she was helping certain family members, and I had this discussion with her. I can only do so much to stop somebody from getting their own money out.
Yeah.
And I had this a couple different times, but one of the people ended up suing me like it was my fault they didn't have money left, when the real reason you don't have as much money left is you keep taking the fucking money out, and your kid, you need to let them fail. Sometimes you need to let your kid go through bankruptcy and then help them on the other side of bankruptcy instead of throwing money, bad money after, good money after bad.
Like a
you,
Band-Aid
you know what I
situation.
mean? Like they're going to end up there anyways. Let it play out,
Just prolong it.
and then help them or whatever. Or, it's like addiction. It's the people who just enable people and do that financially. We dealt with that. But anyways, because I had insurance and because I wasn't paying for it myself, I think the settlement ended up being something really small, like 10 grand or something like that she ended up getting. But the insurance company settled. I didn't settle, really. Or I could have or if I didn't, I could have taken over and like paid fees myself and do that. But I just accepted it, even though I didn't do anything wrong because it was small. I wasn't paying it. The insurance company was. And just for it to be over with, does that mean I was guilty? Yeah, I'm guilty of putting you in Disney and telling you you're spending too much money. I mean, it's in the numbers.
Yeah.
You can't. But so that's how I understand that stuff from at least having some lived experience going through it. You know what I mean? Or I've been indicted, and I've had charges against me. I know how easy it is for somebody to get an indictment against someone. That's why they have the joke out there about, you can indict a ham sandwich because all you have is the prosecution. There's no defense.
Yeah.
They don't call you. You don't get to make a case against an indictment. That's just it. Can we throw enough stuff at this to make this jury believe it's, maybe we should try going forward, see what happens. That's it. The bar is so fucking low.
Yeah.
It's incredibly fucking low. So, having gone through stuff like that, I don't assume that when somebody else is going through that automatically means that they're guilty of stuff. That's just my personal thing.
I understand that.
Yeah.
But in a lot of to my knowledge, again, I don't do that much research into it because I don't really care. But I would assume a lot of the times, I guess maybe I say that in my head because a lot of the times when I do actually read into a settlement, it's because a lot of the time the person was maybe not 100% guilty, but guilty in some way, shape, or form enough to be like, all right, let's just settle, just to not even open up that can of worms, basically.
But this was like, I don't know if you followed, you probably didn't. I believe it was Brett Kavanaugh.
Yeah.
Wasn't he the one that was accused of like
all that stuff?
I don't know, like that he was, on top of some girl on a bed. It wasn't rape, but it was something.
Like
and that person couldn't, couldn't remember almost even what year it was or whose house it was. I mean, I think that's what it was like that for Trump's situation too, where like she couldn't remember like certain things that should have been pretty basic. Yeah. Right?
I
that you're like, really? You don't remember that?
That's why they put you in front of them. Because if you remember and if you're legitimate, it will show right then and there. The average person isn't trained enough to be able to control their emotions enough to sway a panel like that. There's where, I remember him. His was about like something that happened in college, and that girl.
Yeah, she couldn't even remember jack shit.
That's the thing. I don't.
And then other people that were there, like usually they tell a friend or something, knows about it stuff. Like nobody. It was nothing more than a smear campaign.
And
you know what I mean? And it's so that kind of shit is so hard to defend yourself against too.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It is. But he was able to. Well, but yet people still today will say shit about him, right?
By not
even though there was no settlement of any kind or anything like that.
Well, I mean, it went in front of a Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court was like, "You have no case here. He's going to be one of us." I like that. To me, was like some of the biggest waste of like taxpayer dollars that you could mark in the last 10 years, without a doubt.
So. Yeah, I know we've gone other places other than the war off of this, but just trying to just find different things out and just talk it through about where we're at and what's going on. And I'm right here. I haven't changed. I supported Trump each election, and I still support him today. I'm in a weird camp, because I'm in this camp where I do like and have listened to and do believe that some of the work that Candace Owens is doing related to Charlie Kirk, that I very strongly support her investigation in doing that. I believe that it's, I don't believe she's an anti-Semite. I don't believe, or Tucker Carlson. I don't believe they hate Jews. I do think it's reasonable, even though I support what Trump did, I still think it's reasonable to question, though, the relationship with Israel and whether politicians here, should we support Israel? Yes. But some have seemingly put their support of Israel ahead of their support of the United States. And that should never be a thing. It should always be the USA first. And where our situations align, kind of a thing, work together on those. Absolutely. I'm for that. I don't like the fact that if there's any type of criticism whatsoever of Israel, they want to instantly label somebody as being anti-Jewish or anti-Semitic. I can't stand that. I'm against that, doing that kind of shit. So that's why I'm saying I'm in this weird group, because the two sides seem real hard. This group hates this group over here, and with Candace, here's what I think, that I can support what she's doing here. I don't have to agree with 100% of anybody. It's just that simple. I like what she's doing over here. I don't think she's an anti-Semite, but am I like as strong as she is and coming out or talking about Israel the way she does? Again, I don't think it's anti-Semitic, but I'm not in that spot with her for that. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm not. And because I'm of the spot that whatever the Mossad, whatever their intelligence agency has done, and yes, their ally stuff, we've done the same motherfucking shit. So why am I going to be bad at our ally for doing something that we're doing, that they're doing to us, we're doing to them?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that. So that's kind of where I feel like I'm in a different place. I don't know how many other people are at the place that I am, but that's where I'm at. It's a different kind of place right now, and I'm trying to find that path to be able to articulate it, to bring that point of view to the table here and offer that to the public. And that's why we need your help. That's why we need your support. I know that there are people that view this just like any podcast, and they watch. Because I do it. There are podcasts that I watch, and every podcast I watch, I don't hit that subscribe button. But I got to tell you, it's important, if you listen to this at all, even if it's just once a week, to hit that button for us. We really need you to hit that button for us. And join me on the other social media platforms. We're trying to really make something of this and talk just regular folks, just talking shit through. And I love the young guys here, because the different perspective they give, because they give me that perspective, because their life experience doesn't include mine. And so I look at that, and I don't view that as a negative thing. It's that I view that as that's where you're coming from because of what you know and what you experience. Yeah, we all try to learn and research in that, but it does matter what your life experience is. And so I try to take that in to help formulate what I think about things in that, and take that into account. And I get to be the old guy, basically, right? I get to be the old guy. And I'm all right with that. But damn, look at that video. I look pretty good for an old guy. Look at this. Yeah. You know what I hate? The camera, like I got to find a height for this. where I can't sit up straight in this damn thing. And when I slouch over, it makes it look like I got a gut. I do not have, like, dude,
Put like a back support.
I got some abs coming through here, motherfuckers.
No,
I hate
I was
that.
meaning to get you a pillow.
I
I
love
know
bar
you did
support.
mention.
I don't
that
know if
differently,
that'll
but
help or not.
It actually helps a lot, like a lot.
I'll have to.
So
probably
I'll
get
bring you. I'll have that
or-
pillow ready for you on Monday. I'll have that pillow ready.
So
for
the
Monday.
rest of this week, here's what's going to happen, guys. They're going to drop the interview on Wednesday. You're going to want to check that out. So we won't be live, but instead of dropping the interview on the weekend like we normally do, we're going to be dropping this interview, and I think you'll absolutely, positively enjoy it because as they've been, fixing it up and editing it and making it look all great and shit, they can kind of tell whether or not it sucked or not.
I really enjoyed it. I've watched it over like 2 or 3
Yeah,
times.
and Alante, his name's Alante McCauley, and he's a part of Flip Philly Red, and I'm just really enjoying his content that's like popping up every single day, multiple times now on my Facebook feed. So we're going to introduce you to Alante McCauley on Wednesday in that interview. Friday, we're gonna try to see if we can make this shit work. Again, from another city. I will be in Nashville leaving Wednesday to see my granddaughter and my daughter and my son-in-law. And yeah, I'm super excited about seeing this baby. 4 months. 4 months old.
She's gonna be a lot bigger than when you first originally saw her. No.
Yeah. Yeah. So fast. And I can't wait to see her. My daughter's sending me messages that she's I don't know, maybe being a little picky now or something. I'm like, not when Papa gets there, man. She's going to be all good.
You got her a MAGA hat yet?
No. I got her Jordans, though. She's got Jordans. All right. So that's what's going on. And then Monday, I'll be on my way back. But we do leave later on Monday, so I should be able to do the broadcast on Monday from Tennessee as well, from Nashville. That's it, people. That's what we got. Thanks for coming along for the ride. This is the Outlaw Apostle Podcast. I'm your host, Troy Neff. I'm the fucking guy.